So Sunday video, or this week's video, Wednesday video here. Before we get started here, I got the autopilot set. We're moving, today we're moving actually over to Boca Chico from Key Largo, Tarpon Basin, over to Boca Chica today. The Bahamas, which we're going to go in through, we're going to go all the way up past Fort Lauderdale over to Fort Pierce, and then come in the backside there and go in
West End, I think it's called.
Yeah, West End, and then over and then do the Abacos, and then come out Bimini and then head back over to Miami. That's kind of our plan right now. We've got about a 3-week window, 3-4 week window here to work with. So that's the plan right now. I need you guys, though, if we really want to get this channel really going, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below, and really get involved. Today I really want to talk about, because I've been talking a lot with different people about boat buying, and that's what the channel was kind of started. I got involved with it, became a broker, did all that stuff. But now living down in Florida, I went and looked at a boat yesterday for a guy in Marathon there. And my God, what a wreck. The guy was asking, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to show you the actual boat because I almost got sued. I got threatened to be sued on the last time. And it's not right, I'm saying somebody's boat, and, I don't have permission to show you pictures of the boat. But I will show you a picture of the engine room, and that should be all. That's the only picture I should have to take of this boat. The guy's asking $135,000 for the boat. And, before I left the boat, he was talking to the guy that wanted to buy it, and he was down to $80,000. So that should be a huge red flag right there. I mean, if you're dropping your price $55,000 on a boat just like that, I mean, there's problems with the boat. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, he just asked my opinion of the boat, and I said, I wouldn't be interested in the boat, period. And it wouldn't for any price, because it just needed everything. And as you guys know, I built Luke Princess, and I hear it all the time, well, how much does it cost? What do I need to do? I bought Luke Princess, which was a 36-foot PT boat, and I paid $35,000 for it. But in the end, I put about $55,000 of my own money into it, and labor.
Yeah.
So I'm into that boat for well over $85,000. But I did that knowing what the buck value of the boat was, which was right at $60,000. So when I went to sell Luke Princess, that's all I asked was $60,000. I didn't if I tried to get all my money out of the boat, I would have to go $85,000. Could have the timing was a little bit better than it, and it's maybe, but I was realistic at what I paid for that boat, what the boat was worth, and what somebody else should pay for the boat. So I was realistic with all my expectations and was willing to take the loss. And a lot of these guys, what's wrong with a lot of these boats? These old guys own these boats. They've owned them for years and years and years and years. They're getting older now. That they as humans are getting older. They can't take care of the boat. They don't want to pay anybody to take care of the boat. And there's a lot of neglect out there on the boats. Just about every single one I've seen, And this last one, I mean, I just showed you the engine room picture on that. It was a boat I went and looked at yesterday. I mean, nobody's touched that engine room for I don't even know how long. It's just when you see rusty fuel filters, I mean, that's a bad sign. That's a huge red flag right there. And maybe you should pass on the boat, or pick the boat up for almost nothing and know that you're going to have to put a lot of money into the boat. Because another thing that's realistic about all of this is the 2 Grand Bankses that I was involved with last year, both of them 36 Grand Bankses, they were both in that $70,000 price range. Jim, you saw me take, I'll put the link to video right here of those series of videos, because that's a boat I took from Panama City all the way over to Warwick, Rhode Island. But that boat, let's just say he paid $75,000. I'm just going to round all these numbers up. He's well into that boat right now. He's put out of pocket since he spent that $70,000. He's well out of pocket, well over $45,000 now. So that means he's in the boat for about $130,000 right now. And I'm being very generous if I was completely honest. Then the other one was the Virginia Hawkeye. You see that Grand Bank's in a lot of my videos lately. We just did the crossing with the Virginia Hawkeye. Awesome boat. But again, and again, he paid, again, I'm just going to round it off to a nice $75,000 number. But for him to even get it ready for the season this year, both these guys wanted the teak done. One of them spent $30,000 on the teak. The other one spent, I think it was right around $12,000 on the teak. Both boats had their issues, and both boats needed certain things. But he's got probably closer to about $65,000 in that boat, and he's still, neither one of them have new electronics, neither one of them have nothing. But that's the reality of what they bought. They bought a 40-year-old trawler. A lot of these Grand Bankses are listed, right around that $100,000 to $120,000 range. And so now you're paying, and the buck value on them is about $65,000. So when you pay $120,000 for a 36-foot 1985 Grand Banks, I mean, you're done. I mean, you've already paid way too much money for the boat, and then all the money you stuck in the boat. I mean, you're never going to recoup that money. That money's gone. I mean, these assets depreciate. Fiberglass doesn't last forever. Engines don't last forever. Transmissions don't last forever. None of this stuff lasts forever. It all needs to be maintained, and it costs a lot of money to maintain these boats. Perfect example of this week, what I did to this boat right here. If I had to pay somebody to do the work on this boat that I did this week, and you got to agree, right, Pete?
Yeah.
I probably spent, it would have been $10,000. That's would have been my bill.
Probably.
I did a valve adjustment. You'll see right here in the video. I was, valve adjustments, which we did pay somebody in Key West. He diagnosed a problem with the boat, so we had to stop, and I had to go open the rack up, clean out the rocker arm on number 3, and then put it all back together. I changed all the oils. I did everything on these boats. I did oil changes, fuel filters. Just the parts for both engines was probably around $600, right at $700. That's for all the filters, the oil. Oil's very expensive. I just looked in West Marine. Oil, just for a gallon of oil was $30 for 1 gallon. This boat takes about 8 gallons to do both engines. So just in oil, I've got a couple $100 almost in oil, just the oil. That doesn't count filters or anything like that. My trip to Napa was well over, it was like $150, and that was picking up transmission fluid and a couple of other little items that I needed, which was the Castrol oil that I put in there. Tom recommended that I put that in there, so I went ahead and did that. But anyway, it's just, to properly maintain one of these trawlers and to keep it maintained, it costs a lot of money, is my opinion. And if you want to buy one of these trawlers, and you think you're going to get one for, I don't know, let's just say $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, they're probably going to need quite a bit of work at that. You're not going to find one with new electronics and new this, new that, new everything on the boat. It's going to be rough, man. You're going to have a very, very rough time at it. Even though everybody that follows this channel closely, you guys all know we paid $25,000 for this boat. But by the time we got it from him, it was right at closer to $30,000 because we took the dinghy, which that's another whole subject. We ended up throwing the dinghy away because it was trash, but we wanted the motor, the 15-horse motor, which we run today. Which was worth the value of that. And he gave us another generator, all the tools, all the dive gear, everything he gave us with the boat. I think it was, what was it, Pete? It was $27,000.
Yeah, maybe just a hair more, but somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then before Pete even took it and launched the boat, he put in another probably right at $15,000. That was before he even. The boat was on the hard, and we put another $50,000 that was putting batteries in it, bottom paint, going through new impellers, just everything on the boat. He was in the boat for this boat holds.
I think it was 47,000 was the.
Yeah, that was the
bill.
total that I had to reimburse your account for when I was done.
Yeah.
And that was getting it just to Cape May, basically.
Yeah.
Then immediately after that, we put another $10,000 into it, and then this refit, and I'm not trying to be negative about any of this. This is just reality. The refit that we've spent this year, putting new air conditioner on it, the new dinghy on it, and no new electronics at all. But the reality is, we've stuck probably close to around another $35,000 into the boat right now.
Yeah, easy.
So I'm starting to go upside down, even at the price that I've paid for the boat. So if I wanted to sell this boat and just to break even, I would have to be somewhere probably around. This doesn't count any labor or anything. I'd have to sell it probably right now for well over $110,000. The buck value on this boat's about $95,000. So I'm getting past that point of, how can I recoup my money? But I'm not going to be able to find anything else out there, and I'm not interested in selling my boat at this point. If I lived and died on this boat, it is what it is. That's what I will do that. But you guys know that I've always had the ambition of going around the world. So at some point, I've got to make that transition. And again, that's, you guys have to hit the like, the subscribe. You want to see me and Pete make it around the world. On a 65-foot Fleming, that costs millions of dollars. You don't do that for hundreds of thousands like we've got invested in this just to make it over to the Bahamas. So this trip, just to take the boat over to the Chief. God damn it! The poke stick. Anyway, to get this boat over to the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? That. Forget about the hard money we just spent on the refit. Was $30,000. Now we're in another $20,000 just buying groceries, fuel, maintenance. Just maintenance and all of that stuff. Since we've left Gulf Shores, we're probably right at the whole refit right now. Budget is it's well over $50,000.
Yeah.
That getting the boat ready for the Bahamas. It's just the reality of it. And we could have done it less money, but we're not going to have a nice dinghy. And that's another subject that I want to get into in a completely other video. Also, I want you guys to really, the Patreon videos, I'm going to really start working on that this year and really start updating. Why do I wear this mask right here? Because we have rosacea, and it protects my skin. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'll feel much better when I pull this off and go jump in the shower. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. You guys, anybody out there in there, especially in that budget-minded trawler, let's just say for $500,000 and under, and I would say anything under $100,000 is a fixer-upper. It would be very rare to find a boat under $100,000 that doesn't need some type of work. That's pretty. Wouldn't you say, Pete? That's pretty. Yeah. That costs to be out here on the water. You got to be prepared. You got to be Boy Scout prepared. You can't come out here on the water. You can't go cruising on the water. I've always said this, without a budget. So and everybody says, well, you guys do it for cheap. It's not cheap. There's nothing cheap about boating. It's just not. The reality is, it costs a lot of money to be out here, and if you don't have it, maybe you look at kayaks or something like that, something you got to oar, because anything you put a motor in and anything that sits in salt water, it's almost destroyed, and it needs constant maintenance. So anyway, to be positive, I will help anybody out there that's looking for a boat. If you want to get real about finding a real boat, there are a lot of nice boats out there, but be real and be realistic with what the price and what you're willing to pay for the boat, because you guys out there under that $100,000 mark, it's going to be a rough market, and you're pretty much going to have to find that boat on your own. You're not going to be, there's no broker out there, there's no money in finding people, these 100,000 and under boats. They're just not. Just think about it. There's a $10,000 commission that gets split twice, and then so you're lucky as a broker, just you might see $3,500 or something like that, and you got days and weeks, you know, of going through all of this stuff, and it just, there's no money in it, so they're not worth it. So you're pretty much on your own when you're looking for these boats. You're gonna have to dig deep. You know, you have to go to Facebook ads is a good place. YouTube is a good place. You're gonna, it doesn't matter whether you listen with a broker or not, you're gonna have to, you know, dig. Anyway, I know it's been a little bit long-winded here. Hope you guys are enjoying your day here. I hope we're gonna enjoy Boca Chica, and you guys are, stay tuned till next week, because that we should be in the Bahamas next time, next Sunday when I'm doing this video. So anyway, peace out. Remember, hit that like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, guys, because we surely do appreciate it.